we're changing a 2003 Honda Civic LX, the front brakes and rotors. So to do this job, you're going to need a 17mm socket. I'm using a 3-inch extension, good old socket. You're going to need a number 3 Phillips screwdriver. I attach it to a socket wrench to make it easier. Brake compressor. That's about it. So, first off, what you're going to want to do is remove these. These are just standard Phillips 3-inch screws, number 3 screws. The only purpose these really serve is to hold the rotor in place to make it easier for installation and removal. So, those are removed. Next, there's 2 bolts back here. They're the number 17. That's where this comes into hand. The first one is right up here. You just go ahead and remove it. Now, a lot of times these will be stuck on too tight, so that's where a handy breaker bar just slid onto the end gives you more leverage to break them free. Some PB Blaster, air tools if you have them. Now the second bolt is going to be down here. It's kind of hard to see, but same spot, just right there. So, you want to remove that also. To make it easier, you could lift up on the caliper itself, kind of wiggle it so you get the bolt completely free. Once it's free, off slides your caliper. Off to the side on a jack stand, because you have your brake line here, and you don't want to break your brake line. If you break your brake line, you gotta replace it, re-bleed the system. So, now that those 2 bolts are off, the caliper is free for removal. Nice and simple. Now here's the new caliper, or the new rotor. As you can see right in here, they're countersunk. Those are going to line up with the new ones. Just take the bolts, tighten them back in. Now these just need to be hand tightened. I'm sure in the service manual it tells you a proper torque. However, I don't have a service manual, and I'm not really too concerned with that. So, there's your new rotor. I like to take a rag, sock rag, cotton, whatever, works pretty well. Wipe it. When they're shipped from the factory, they're shipped with oils on there, with shipping oils. It helps prevent rust. That'll also help prevent you from stopping. Go ahead and wipe that off. Now, onto the brakes. Brake pads, they just pop right out. leave that one in against your caliper. The reason why is where your brake tool comes in handy. Your pads are going to be smaller than the new ones, so they're compressed slightly. So now you're going to want to put these in. Might have to work this out a little bit to get it in there. There we go. So traditionally you'd want to put this bar right on that side. However, my calipers are fine, so I'm not really too concerned. You just go ahead and tighten. Okay, as you can see, now I have my caliper fully compressed back. Now that brake pad has done its job. Now we can go ahead and remove it. Right out. I'm going to squeeze this back that way, giving me some more room. This is out like that. When you squeeze it back in, you can see it moved. Now it gives you a spot. As you can see, here's my new pads. Here's my old ones. That's the meat. Time for replacement. Probably could have gone quite a bit longer just due to the fact that it still has some good life, but might as well change it. Safety first, right? Now the grease they include is just a lubricant. Put it along the edge. Any moving parts is what it says on the package, I believe. However, what's really moving besides your caliper and your pads? So, there's done that. Now you have your pad all greased up. Slides in there. Slides in there. Fully lined up. Now just do the same thing with the other pad. Alright. Now this side's all lubed up. You can tell it's the back side because you got your squeak bar, or whatever it's called. I call it the squeak bar. Go ahead and fit that in there. Slide into place. And there you go. So now your brakes pads are installed, your rotor's installed, it's all lined up to go. slide it back into place, shall we? So go ahead and line it back up. Two bolts that we had. Zoom over. So now always remember to tighten these bolts as tight as you can go by hand first. Once as a child, my dad took his car somewhere, somebody didn't tighten it correctly, stripped the bolts, we were there for hours while they're trying to extract it, pain in the butt. Just tighten it by hand first. Now you're going to want to tighten these down using a torque wrench to spec. I'm not sure what the spec is, you can look it up, or you can check my comment on the video. And there you have it. That's changing your rotor, your brake pads. Now you got a whole new front braking system. If you weren't careful, you snap this, you got to replace your line, now you got to bleed your brakes, everything of the sort like that. They also recommend that you change your brake fluid every so many miles, so many years. Brake fluid gathers moisture, dirt, air, things like that, prevent your braking from happening. It's been replaced.